Don't move to Nashville, Tennessee in 2023 unless you can handle what I'm about to tell you. I've talked a lot about the pros and cons of living in Nashville on this channel and realized that I should just compile a solid list of the 7 worst things about living in Nashville, Tennessee in one video. Number 2 on the list may stop you in your tracks, and number 1 on our list may simply make you not want to be here. I'm not holding anything back, and I'm getting after it right now. Hey y'all, my name's Vegh. I moved to Nashville, Tennessee 10 years ago, and I've really come to love living here. Those that know me well know that I have an optimistic side of me that tries to see the bright side of things. And so it took me almost 10 years to realize that, yeah, there are a lot of aspects of living here that would make moving to Nashville the wrong choice for a lot of people. So if you are still considering a move here after you hear what I have to say, my team and I would love to help you make the best informed decision possible about a home purchase here so that your move to Nashville is smooth and hassle-free. So take down my contact information. You can find it in the description below. Now, the first reason not to move to Nashville is one I actually did discover as soon as I moved here, and that's reason number 7. The Tennessee sales tax. If you've listened to almost any of the other videos on my channel, you might have noticed that I harp on this issue a lot. In my adult life, I've lived in a few different states, including Oregon, which has no sales tax at all, and Florida, which has a reasonable sales tax rate of a flat 6%. So when I moved here, it was a bit of a shocker to see how much I was paying in sales tax on every receipt. Tennessee itself imposes a 7% flat sales tax, but then each county adds on their own sales tax, which averages out across Tennessee to be about 9.55%. Nashville, Tennessee, and Davidson County, in which it resides, is thankfully a little below the state average with a sales tax rate of 9.25%. It's little consolation though, as it's still almost 10 cents on every dollar and can cause retail therapy to feel more like buyer's remorse. The bright side of things is that Tennessee doesn't have a state income tax. Quiet you. Sorry about that guy. He can't help but butt in. Another reason you might not want to move to Nashville, Tennessee is reason number 6. Tornadoes. First up, let me say this because a lot of people get this confused. Tennessee is not in Tornado Alley. Yeah, but it is in Dixie Alley. Quit interrupting me. And I thought you were supposed to give good news. So yeah, while we aren't in the worst area, Dixie Alley is another part of the US that's known for having a higher than average frequency of tornadoes. When we look at the stats over the last 13 years, you can see that the tornado frequency in Tennessee varies wildly from year to year, but one thing has remained true through the years. Middle Tennessee, where Nashville resides, gets a higher frequency of tornadoes on average than the rest of the state combined. It's also worth noting that in 2020, Nashville was hit with a tornado that devastated North and East Nashville, and that devastation is still being recovered from to this day. We covered this in a lot more about Nashville weather in another video on this channel that I'll link in the description for you. Speaking of weather, next up we gotta talk about reason number 5, Nashville's hot summers. Even this former Floridian has to admit that Nashville summers can get quite toasty. But I will also say when I first moved here, I thought locals were being kind of whiny about the summer weather. In short, Tennessee is definitely not as hot as Florida, but make no mistake, Nashville, Tennessee has all of the cliches of the South, including the oppressive humidity and the need for some good sunblock. The hottest month of the year here is July, which averages a high of 89 degrees. But overall, the entire summer feels just as hot and humid. Usually the only reprieve we get from the heat in the summer is when the thunderstorms roll in and dump rain on us all day long. Yeah, but then we can play in the puddles. In all seriousness, if you're coming from a colder climate, you'll want to make sure you can handle the heat for quite a few months out of the year before you make the decision to move to Nashville. Now we're getting closer to the number one reason not to move to Nashville. And again, number two has also prevented a lot of hopeful Nashville residents from even being able to move here. But first, we have to discuss reason number four, Nashville's rapid growth. Some people may consider the rapid growth of Nashville and its suburbs to be a positive thing. But this is something I see many residents frequently complain about. The current population in the Nashville metro area is about 1.3 million as of 2023. While the population of the metro area isn't growing as fast as it did in the 2010s, the city of Nashville itself has seen an average of 100 new residents move there every single day in 2023. This, of course, adds an increased burden on the infrastructure, schools, and traffic. Additionally, as more new homes have to be constructed and areas are rezoned, there are parts of the Nashville metro that are losing some of the southern charm that Nashville residents treasure. As I speak, there's a battle being waged in Franklin, Tennessee by residents trying to stop a new development that they believe will hurt the character of the city. And battles like this are frequently being waged around Nashville as local government tries to figure out how to accommodate the demand to live here. Even some of the suburbs on the outskirts of the Nashville metro have begun to grow and change to the point where it can be harder and harder for those who want the peace and solitude of country living to find the right place. Now, we've talked about tornadoes and we've talked about the hot summers, but there's one other thing I should mention, and that's reason number three, Nashville's unpredictable weather. Have you ever experienced all four seasons in a single day? Nashville residents have. One of my frustrations living here is that when you make plans that are somewhat weather dependent, Nashville's unpredictable weather can often foil them. Whether it's a rainstorm that seems to come out of nowhere or a sudden heat wave making your plan to go to the park with your kids sound like a sweaty chore. The unpredictable weather has become a bit of a meme here and a frequent complaint from residents that just want to be able to spend some time outdoors without being soaked by rain or sweat. It's worth noting that Nashville winters are quite mild and that the roads are rarely unsafe to travel due to the infrequent snow and ice. Yeah, okay, I've got a point. But because of the weather unpredictability, Nashville is never prepared for even a moderate snowstorm, so everything gets shut down when it happens. It's honestly quite frustrating, but at least it's not that common. Next up, it's one of the elephants in the room when considering a move to Nashville, which is reason number two, rising housing costs. Like many areas around the country, Nashville has seen a significant spike in the cost of housing in the last few years. And home prices have still been trending up even as mortgage interest rates continue to rise. For those who currently rent in Nashville, this hasn't fully hit them yet. But I suspect in the next few years, as more landlords have to shoulder higher interest rates, we are going to see a rapid and continuous rise in average rental payments. In short, if you are moving to Nashville and plan to rent for a while, proceed with caution because it's likely that your rent on every lease renewal will come up substantially. For those who plan to purchase here, it has also become more difficult as the current state of the market is seeing both inflated prices and a mortgage interest rate that is more than double what it was just a year and a half ago. The positive side of purchasing now is that Nashville's track record of appreciation means you're likely to gain equity over the next 5 years, and you have the option of refinancing into a lower rate if rates come down. You know what? Once again, I agree with me. But no matter how confident any prognosticator may sound, no one has a crystal ball when it comes to real estate. So just take caution if you're considering a move to Nashville, and especially take the rising housing costs into account. And finally, without further delay, let's talk about reason number one, Nashville's traffic. Make no mistake, Nashville has the worst traffic in the state of Tennessee. Because of the aforementioned rapid growth, frequent tourism, and droves of people commuting into the city, you will often find yourself in traffic jams and slowdowns. Yeah, but all those commuters are due in part to Nashville being the #1 job market in the country. Yeah, well, those other people on the road can go get a job somewhere else. I just want to get where I'm going. I don't commute into the downtown area anymore, but when I did, it frequently took me an hour to get home. And I lived in Nashville. Savvy residents have figured out how and when to avoid certain roads during peak traffic hours. But one way or another, if you plan to move to Nashville, you deserve to know that you may be spending more time in your car than you would like. Now, there are also some reasons to move to Nashville in 2023. And so if you'd like a balanced perspective, check out this video. And whether you're considering a move to Nashville in 2023 or beyond, my team and I would love to serve you, so don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you for watching, and I certainly hope to Tennessee you soon. Hey, me too. Bye.